What's up guys, it's TechnoViking23 coming to you today with some Raid Shadow Legends, and we're actually breaking out the webcam for this video. First time, I think maybe on Raid videos we've done this. A lot of people ask me why I don't use webcam. I know everybody likes to relate to their content creators and see them on screen and everything, but it's not because I don't want to show my face or that I'm shy or anything. It's just that I don't have a really fancy computer for making content, so it usually adds a long time to render my videos whenever I add a webcam section in, or the webcam capture. And the other thing too is that I only have one webcam, and during the pandemic the prices of webcams has gone through the ceiling, so I have to use this one that I have now hooked up to my gaming PC on my work computer for Microsoft Teams meetings, things like that. I use it 2 or 3 times a day for meetings, so it's very tedious to have to constantly bring it back and forth from the office, having to reroute all the cables because I'm a big cable management guy, so having to go in there and unattach the zip ties and get the cables and everything back out, it's just kind of annoying, so I usually just skip using the webcam. If I can find one for a decent price here in the next couple months, I may buy a second one and start using it for videos, but I felt like for this video I wanted to use the webcam because I'm kind of going to be talking about a matter that's a little bit more serious, and I apologize, keep looking over here. I'm actually playing Raid on the other computer while I'm talking to you guys. In the background we've got some Hydra footage from my free-to-play key attempts this week, trying to get the 1 key so we can just do it and be done with it, and that's there. But I feel like we have to talk about something in the Raid community, specifically within the content creator community today, and I wasn't going to make this video. I've been thinking about it all day. I was like, it's probably not worth it. No one's going to watch it anyways. But then Madcapper did his weekly Raid rant, and basically he talked about the exact subject that I was thinking about talking about, which is all the complaints we're seeing about the 10x events, how it's a scam, how we're being extorted, how people are getting taken advantage of, etc., etc. And you guys know me, I've mentioned in my videos many times that I do not like doing shard pull content. I think it's bad. I think it influences people to go and buy shards. I think, you know, a lot of it's sometimes dishonest a little bit because only the good pulls are shown. You know, people will show the highlights of their shard pulls, and it's only the legendary champions that you see them pulling, so it kind of gives you the false idea that you're going to get better rates and you're going to go in and get a bunch of legendaries when you go buy shards. But we're seeing a lot of complaints, especially from content creators now, about the 10x events being a scam, how they're getting screwed over, how Plarium's extorting people. And I'm kind of over here thinking, well, unless they got your grandma tied up in a chair with a gun to her head on video, like I don't see how they're extorting anyone. And I'm the first person to criticize Plarium. I've done it many times in the past, talked about a lot of the bad decisions they've made. I'm in the content creator program. That honestly has zero influence on what I do content on and what I talk about when it comes to Plarium. I am the last person to care about what a company thinks, and if they don't like what I say and want to kick me out of the content program, then so be it. I'm kind of in a different position than a lot of the full-time content creators because I do work a full-time job on the side. I do YouTube as a hobby, mainly for fun because I like content creation. I like keeping my video skills and other things sharp. It comes in handy. It's funny because actually the skills I've learned through doing YouTube have helped me at work. I had to help some of the attorneys at my office put a video presentation together for a big conference. No one had any idea how to do it, and my YouTube and photography skills allowed me to become kind of an invaluable member of that team. So it helps me out in my real job too, which is kind of cool. But that said, I have a bit of a different perspective. I can say different things than a lot of the other content creators because I am not tied to Plarium for my success in life. Unfortunately, when you become a full-time content creator, you kind of tie yourself to a company. You hitch your wagon to how well they do, and you're sometimes at the mercy of what they want you to say about a game. I learned this when I was a content creator for Destiny way back in the day. That was one of my favorite games. That's what I first started YouTube on, and by the time it was all said and done, about 99% of the Destiny content creators were basically shills for Bungie and Activision, and we did a lot of videos back in the past about that, me and a couple of the other content creators, talking about how the majority of the Destiny content creators were bad for the community because they never stood up for the community, because they were all afraid of losing their early access to content for the game. Now, raid is kind of the same way. If you're a tier 3 content creator especially, you get access to the test server. You get access to some pretty nice perks that are worth quite a bit of money every month that you don't have to spend on the game. That's why you've seen a couple content creators that got kicked out of the program, calling for the Plarium CEO to let them back in on YouTube, and some other ridiculous things, but it's pretty funny. But what I want to talk about today is the 10x event issues and people talking about how it's such a bad thing, complaining they're getting scammed. And I'm going to say what I've said for a long time. Either stop complaining or stop pulling shards. Stop putting out all these hype videos about the 10x champion. Last week everybody said, oh, it's 10x Kymar, you've got to pull, get your shards ready, let's go, this is the best champion in the game, we've got to pull our ancients and try to get Kymar. The 10x came and went. Everybody puts up their video, oh, I pulled 1,000 shards, I pulled 800 shards, I didn't get Kymar, it's such a scam, and then everyone's crying on Monday about how they didn't get the champion. Well, the math is out there on the 10x chances. At this point, it's been out there for a long time. If you don't know that the chances are absolutely terrible, that's on you. You'd have to pull thousands of shards to almost guarantee yourself at getting a Kymar. You could pull 3,000-4,000 shards and you're not even guaranteed to get Kymar based on the numbers. I think I'll put up that little chart before on one of my videos where it basically shows how bad your chances are in the 10x events. They're just not worth pulling on for most people. And some content creators do say that, but for the most part, all you see is shard pull content on YouTube. And it's unfortunate, but I think like it just puts a negative influence out there. When you sit there and you hype up a champion or a champion event, and then you sit there and you pull thousands of shards for people, and then you come out later and say, oh, I got scammed, or we all got scammed, it's like, well, you sort of influence that too. You know, you're encouraging people by your videos to pull these shards. You're showing off all these shard pulls, which influence people to pull more shards. And again, that's the reason I stay away from shard pull content. I don't like doing it. The only shard pull content I do is mystery shards, and that mystery shard video I did last week was a little bit of satire. I was kind of trolling with that, you know, making fun of the videos you see about, oh, I pulled 5,000 legendaries, and they got the, you know, the thumbnail of them going crazy. It's just, that stuff drives me insane. So just thought I guess I'll just get that out there now. But so yeah, so those mystery shard videos I do are kind of fun, but they're also meant to sort of make fun of the amount of shard pull content that's out there. And unfortunately, it seems like for some people, that's all that actually gets views. There's another thing I was going to talk about in a separate video, is how I would not try to go into raid content creation right now, just because of the fact it is such a saturated space, and there's a lot of smaller raid content creators who put out some absolutely amazing content, but they don't get views because the space is already occupied. The big boys have already made their space up at the top, so it's hard to actually get noticed by the algorithm. So what a lot of people do is, what gets views? Let's pull shards. Let's post all legendary champions we pulled. And that winds up getting more views than actually like guide videos on the Doom Tower or champion spotlights or things like that. So I get it. It's tough for some of the smaller creators to get in, but until we stop pulling shards, Plarium's not going to do anything. That's why it's hilarious to me. I hear all these content creators like, oh, we need to do a 20x or a 30x, or let's do a banner event. Let's do this. Let's do that. Plarium's sitting there, and I'm going to put up a screenshot here. It's going to show the champion chase global point scoring. And HD60 and I were talking about this today, and he's basically worked out the math where it's like, I think every 30 points is equal to like $1. So the guy that's in the lead spent almost $23,000. Think about that for $23,000 trying to get a Kymar. And you can see the point scoring going down through the top 10. And I mean, this is just the global. I mean, if I look in like my bracket, I think the top guy was at 48,000. So even in the local brackets, you've got people spending $2,000 or $3,000, $5,000 trying to go after Kymar and get this legendary. So Plarium sees that, and they're like, well, whatever we're doing is working, you know. And if you've worked in the corporate space, or you understand anything about financials, you see why they don't make changes. They don't have to. Why should they? I still remember when I used to work for a publicly traded company, we would have our meetings every quarter, and they'd be like, well, people are complaining about this, customers don't like this, everyone's whining about this, and the president or the CEO or the CFO or whoever would just be like, okay, well, what were the profits last quarter? Oh, they were good, they were record profit. Oh, well, forget about all the complaints. Who cares? We're making money. So that's all that matters to these people. The only thing that's ever going to influence Plarium is the bottom line. It's the money they make off of these events. They made a ton of money off this Kymar event. They make a ton of money off SIFI events. They make a ton of money off the guaranteed champs, off of running these 10x and 2x's during clan vs clan now. We've seen the last 2 clan vs clan mega whale matchups at the top bring in a ton of money for them. So why should Plarium change? And people can't be this bad at math. I think that's part of the problem, is like the math is out there. Everybody should know the math. And I wonder with like some of these content creators that are constantly complaining, I'm like, do you not understand that you're actually influencing this issue with all this shard pull content that gets out there every single week? Plarium's looking at it like, okay, well, you're complaining, but then on the other hand, you're going and you're pulling 10,000 shards. So what is it? Which one is it? Is it's a problem, or you still want to spend money on the game? Which one is it? Pick one, because you're sending us mixed signals. It's basically the way Plarium's looking at it. You'll see a content creator pull a bunch of Void shards. They don't get the Void Legendary they want, and Void 10x's are absolutely terrible. And then they'll sit there and make a video that said, well, I got scammed, I didn't get the champion I want, but I'm going to go buy 300 more shards and pull for it again. Now guys, let me tell you something. If I go somewhere, like say I go to a restaurant, and I pay a lot of money for a good meal, and the meal's bad, I'm just not going to go back. I'm not going to spend any more money. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I got scammed. I made a decision, and the consequences of that decision became clear. I'm going to decide not to do it anymore. I'm not going to keep going back and keep spending money and keep getting scammed, so to speak. So I guess I just don't understand it. And I know, like I said, it's tough when you are a full-time content creator and you're hooked in with the company so much. And, Plarium's told us many times in content creator chat, we really don't like it when you guys tell people not to spend money. This is supposed to be a partnership between us. We give you guys stuff. You're supposed to encourage the community to take part in the game. So we really don't like it when you tell us, tell people not to spend on 10x or 2x, or that this event is a bait event or whatever. That's another funny thing too. You'll see the CCs put up, they'll say, oh, this is a bait 10x coming up, but then they'll still pull 400 shards for it and put up a YouTube video. So again, as a content creator, at this point in the game, you have to decide what's good for your community, what's good for you, obviously, and what's good for the future of the game. And if you're going to sit there and complain after every single 10x, there's just no point, because you're not going to change anything, because you're also influencing people and showing people that it's okay to just keep spending money. Even though you feel like you're getting screwed, you're going to keep spending money. Again, like I said, if I'm getting screwed by a business or by someone else, I'm just not going to spend money anymore. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to complain about it and continue to go back and keep spending my hard-earned money. That's just stupid. Let's be honest, that's stupid. And it just shows that you don't understand how the financial model works. And again, Plarium's not going to change it. They're not going to fix anything. They don't have to. They don't have to, because they keep making money hand over fist. And until the content creators take a united stand on this, and everybody just says, hey, guess what, man? This 10x, no one make any videos. No one pull any shards. We're not gonna put up with this anymore. It's not gonna happen. Until that starts happening, you're just not gonna see Plarium make any changes. It's just not gonna happen. It's the unfortunate truth of how business is done and how the financial world works in that way. And as long as players are making money hand over fist on these events, they have zero reason to change it. They just don't. They don't have to. They don't have to listen to anyone. And I tell people all the time, the content creators, we don't really have that big of a voice, to be honest. They don't listen to us most of the time. They'll tell us they're listening to us, but then they don't actually tell anybody higher up about the things we're, bringing to them from our communities. The only way content creators are going to be able to actually get anything changed in the game is if they change their behavior. They stop making all this shard pull content. And I know it's entertaining for some people. I personally don't get it, and maybe that's why I always bash on it. But we don't watch people that do drugs on television all day. We don't watch people that are addicted to things, like go and influence their addiction. So why are people so entertained you know, buy shard pulls. I'm not really sure where that comes from. So if you guys have an idea, if you're someone that likes to watch shard pull videos, tell me why down below, because maybe I want to educate myself and see why. But I just think it's bad for the game. It reminds me again of when I was in the Destiny community and all the content creators were doing engram openings. Like, why do you want to sit there and watch somebody else open up their loot? And then you get influenced to try to go get more of those loot things to open up, those loot drops. You want to go to the microtransaction store and buy some loot boxes to open some stuff up. Like, it just doesn't do anything for me. So maybe you guys can tell me why that you enjoy that stuff. But like I said, I've rambled on long enough. Madcapper calls this series Raid Rants. Maybe I should call this like the Raid Ramble or something. But I just wanted to get this off my chest to kind of talk about it, get it out there. I really get tired of seeing people complain about stuff when they themselves are the ones influencing the behavior from the community. It's just really hard to come off as being serious about a topic when you know, on one hand tell people you're getting scammed, but on the other hand you're continuing to put out content that shows the behavior you're against, you know, that you keep on doing it. So unfortunately, until we get some of the bigger content creators to stop doing the shard pull videos, you know, some of these content creators, they sit on Twitch all weekend and pull shards for 4, 5, 6, 7 hours to hundreds of thousands of viewers, and it's kind of like, why do you think nothing changes when you yourself continue to take part in what you call a scam? So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below. That's going to do it for this video. As always, hope you guys are having a great day. Thanks as always for watching, and I will see you again next time.